you are alone. I mean, alone means away from your family for the first time, most of you. Your canteen food, however good it is, it cannot compare with your mommy's kitchen, mommy's or granny's kitchen, right? And you have to live your own life, right? I mean, right from the morning. I mean, nobody is here to wake you up in the morning. Nobody is here to coax you to get you up, rather. You have to wake up on your own, right from that. And then you have to mind your own dress, etc., washing. Oh, yeah. Hello. Is it working? Is it okay? Okay, fine. So throughout the day, I mean, the whole idea is you are in your own, you have to manage your own life. Now onwards. Not just all your professors will dump lots of work on you. You have to sail through the exams, you have to study hard, right? And of course, there will be many other aspects, I mean, in your personal life as well as academics. But remember it, yeah, that is a learning, that is a part of life. And yeah, and life is like that. But the thing is, you need to learn how to make best out of it, right? How to make your life better, how to organize yourself, how to do it. There is no, I mean, no point. Often there's a tendency, often many of us complain, oh, if the government did so, life would be much better. Oh, if the institute did all these things for us, life would be much better. Oh, why there is a water logging in front of my hostel? And so many, there can be so many complaints. But the thing is, look, life won't change by making those complaints. You have to see that in the given situation, how you can make your life, make best out of your life. And even in your professional life, you will see that, look, it will won't be a smooth sailing. You have to climb, as you climb the ladders in your profession, or as you, I mean, you'll go in different professions. I assume somebody will go in teaching, somebody will go in corporate, somebody will go in many other vocations, somebody may be entrepreneurs. But in whatever you do, things will not come on a platter to you. You have to work hard and earn for everything in life. Be prepared to do so, and this staying in the hostel here gives you a great opportunity to learn that. Let's move to the next one. Well, another thing is, as you know, you need to set your goals, what you want to achieve in life. Not only just earning a degree at the end of fourth year, but then what do you want to be? What do you want to be maybe 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now? Okay? Think about it. How do you want to, what are your preferences? And just thinking about it is not enough. You need to plan to achieve them. Indeed, I was fortunate to be associated with one of the great personalities who had shaped the telecom world in India. It is Sam Pitroda, and I had learned quite a bit about planning from him. What I have seen in him is he maintained a diary. So, and in the diary he has very clearly written that what he wants to do in next 10 years. And out of that, what he needs to achieve on the first year, what he needs to achieve in the second year, and so on, to achieve the goal, what he wants to achieve at the end of the 10th year. And again, and break down the sub goals too. If you have to achieve something by the end of 1 year, what all you need to do in the first month and the second month and the third month and so, finally it boils down to what you need to do today So what you should do today ultimately to achieve your goal at the end of the 10th year. So of course there are different granularities of planning. You cannot decide everything on day one. There are lots of uncertainties, and as things move on you may need to change your plan. But setting up the broad goal and the plan to achieve them, it helps in your life, right? Always think ahead what you want to. And there is a sort of it's a management joke. They say, how to eat an elephant? Answer is very simple, one bite at a time, right? Eventually you will end up eating it completely. So the thing is, don't get overwhelmed by the problem. There can be many problems as you set your goal, as you see the problem. There's so many things in the world. But plan for a little bit at a time, right? I mean, as you will go on, as it is primarily the focus of the college is on information technology, you will see it in technology also. When you do a large piece of programming, what you do, you try to divide in many small pieces and then try to solve each at a time. But that is true not only for programming, this is true everywhere else, right? So not to get overwhelmed with the magnitude of the problem, with the magnitude of what all you want to do. Take one small piece, solve it, tick it out, let it be behind you, and that is the way to success. Another very important thing is that you will learn quite a lot, right, in the college or otherwise also. I mean, but the thing is, the knowledge is not enough. Look, knowledge gives you a capability to act with wisdom. But unless you take this action, you don't go forward. You may need to, and here there is one thing. What happens generally, we acquire lots of knowledge through theoretical studies or through by interactions with people, but then we cannot, most of us probably cannot translate even 10% of it to action. So, excuse me, maybe you can click on this. Okay. So what happens is, and why we cannot? This is primarily because of a little uncertainty in our minds, or sometimes because of fear. If I do this, what will happen? For example, I'm quite cozy in my present job. Should I take a decision to look for some alternatives? Or not only job, I'm pretty comfortable in my present life situation, maybe in the city I'm living in. If I suddenly, in the same company, if I get transferred to another city, maybe it will be career-wise it will be good for me. But there's a fear of unknown. Do I take the action to move? Right? Or in everyday life also. I mean, maybe. So what happens is, before taking an action, we hesitate because of some sort of fear, some sort of maybe sometimes lack of confidence. So these are the things one should overcome. And if one has to be, I mean, it is said that knowledge is power, but just only knowledge won't do. You may need to, if you combine it with appropriate actions, which are backed by your knowledge, then only it becomes a default. Let's move. Your superior or whoever you are saying no to is a sensible person. Look, you can always argue it out with him, you can always convince him. One thing we used to say that in any discussion, I mean, either you convince or be convinced. At the end of the discussion, it may come out that probably you be open to listening also. It is not that if you have a conviction, just sort of stubbornly follow that conviction. Be open to listening. So at the end of a discussion, either you get convinced about what the other person is saying, or you convince him, the other person. Right? Ultimately you need to come out with a consensus. So when there is any disagreement or anything. So don't become a yes man, don't become a yes person. Right? Whenever required, learn to say no and a solid and a firm no if it demands so. Okay? So whoever you may be dealing with. Okay. Each of us has a very beautiful pattern in life. We get born, we are sent to school, right? And we pass out the CBSE or ICSE, whatever, or the state board. Then we join a college. We get a professional or academic degree. We join a job.
If someone with 30 years experience in the information technology, right, whatever area could be, you are all in information technology disciplines. Even mechatronics has electronics and computers in it, right? It's not a pure mechanical engineering, mechatronics. So you should develop this ability to ask some questions, simpler questions. What is one of the nicest patents you file? What are some of the R&D work that has gone into business? What is good about your lab in the last 3 years? What is something great your lab done in the last 5 years? Right? Please, reading in the website is different from interacting with a person who is standing before us, more than 25 years experience, accomplished, and a company that has got presence in many parts of the world, possibly $7 or $8 billion, right? Higher than the second in the list in India, by a very big margin. And so we try to do from now. Okay, there is a talk at 4 to 5 in the evening, and then see in what ways you can ask him. I'm going to come at least for some time. I want to interact with him. Right? So think in those ways. Yeah, we are asked to sit here, right, and do FMS, and like you said, start complaining about AC not there. If you want to be a great CEO, COO, or a great scientist or a great entrepreneur, you better do something different, right? Find out about the speakers, read about them, come prepared a little bit, ask some questions, interact. If you start writing some email to him once in 3 months from now, he will tell you what to do and get into the R&D labs. This is my piece of advice to you. But, thanks a lot, Dr. Ghosh, for spending time with us.
Thank you everyone for listening to Sir, and I hope everyone gets a message from his speech and incorporates that into their lives. I now invite Professor Gorti and the wardens and all the members of the Hostel Affairs Committee to give a brief talk on some message. Thank you very much.
Students Affairs, and the team, I belong to the team of wardens. Right? We have 2 wardens for each hostel, boys 1, 2, 3. We have Mrs. Pathania, Anjali Pathania as the warden for girls hostel, and there is a assistant warden also, right ma'am? Yeah, Swati is the assistant warden. We also have assistant wardens who are PG students, postgraduate students in the boys hostels, right? And chief warden, we have Dr. Somnath Biswas. If you have not met, you would meet most of the wardens now. And we all work as a team. There are a few points we want to convey. So from my side, as I begin, how many of you have heard about a company called Tisco? What does it manufacture? Yeah? Steel. It's a steel company. How many of you know approximately how many years it is working? Was it started last year? Was it started 10 years back? How many years, approximately, it started? 40, 50, any other guesses? I think 75 years, maybe 100 years. Maybe 100 years. Of late, as I said, my memory. 100-year-old company. How many strike, you know what is meant? It's a steel company, right? There are a lot of work people. There are a lot of working workforce, not just officers, right? People who operate various machines and then move things. And so the forgers, the plumbers, or whatever you call them. I had gone there. At least 5 times I had gone when I was working with, not when I was working with TCS, but when I was working with IBM, I had an opportunity to visit them. I had visited. How many times it had a strike? You know strike? Maruti people did strike. Some other XYZ company people did strike 10 days, 20 days, 1 month, right? You might have heard. And you know where is the location of Tisco? Jamshedpur. How far Jamshedpur from West Bengal? Not far, right? We are not talking about Trivandrum is far away from West Bengal, or Ahmedabad is far away from West Bengal. West Bengal is generally known for strike. Anything, right? If here the air is not good, go on strike. Chair slightly bent. Okay. So how many times you think the Tisco workers have gone on strike in the last 75 years? Any guess? Yeah? Loud, loud. Good one. Stand up. Good one. The reason I want him to stand up and one is the answers have to be confident, clear, and loud. Sir, I think for 1 time only. All right, sir, I think it's only 0 times, never. So your answer and confidence should be very reflective of your answer. Come on. Never in 75 years, even though it is nearer to the kind of zone where strikes are very famous. And in a country, India, for anything and everything we complain morning and evening and night, and it had no strike. It is all because there are management who hold guns at all times. Is it? Because the management holds gun at the point, and that's why there is no strike, is it? Is it? I visited 5 times Tisco. I get a feeling that it's a temple or a mosque or a church. It's not a factory. I really get that feeling. So all the reason I'm saying is the management had such a relationship with the workforce that the workforce never did any strike. You can do it for 10 years, 5 years, 3 years. Can you do it for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 70 years? Unless there is a healthy atmosphere. And if you want to be in the top management of Tisco or of TCS or equivalent of Infosys or whatever one, you need to be a person of relationships. You need to be a person whom people would talk to you tell their problem. You think that there were no problems at all? Must be kidding if you think there are no problems. If there are no problems internally, there will be external people who will bring it and create problems. That's how the world is. Running a Tata enterprise is not an easy task at all. Running Tisco is not an easy. The world over, steel is facing problems. Steel business is facing problems. It has nothing to do with just Tisco, it is the world around, all right? In all these circumstances over 75 years, they never had one strike. It is a relationship between various levels of the management. And I would like you all to develop such relationships. So all this 2-3 minutes talk is build such relationships. And I am right away announcing one prize. Maybe more than one, but it can be 5 if there are deserving candidates, one prize. The students in this here, sitting here, who comes up and then says, I have excellent relationship with second year, third year, fourth year, and I'm giving you the names. Whoever gives the largest names and the list I'll contact, and the second year say, yes. He chumma right. He doesn't have any relationship with me. Oh, इधर उधर पता चला कि एक और अंदाज से लगा हो विभूर गुप्ता हो गया. Second year. No, actually I'll also verify from the seniors. The students here who would say, I have built already in the first 10 days excellent relationship with this many people, is the foundation for you to be a great scientist, a great engineer,